Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Live here, and a direct just happened at the time of recording. It'll be a little bit later by the time you see it, but I'm going to talk about it, and I'm not going to talk to myself. I'm going to be talking to Mr. John.
Hi, that's me.
And L. Zeon.
Sorry, Zeon's busy playing Deltarune 2 right now. He cannot return your call.
So yes, the direct just happened. We're going to go through everything. We're going to hang on some things significantly longer than Dying Light. But we're just going to go through it in standard order. But are you guys ready?
Dude, I drank a chai latte about an hour ago, and I am shaking.
Someone call an ambulance for Zeon.
It's like 1 in the afternoon for you or something. But anyway, they opened up, I was quite surprised, with Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which they're describing as a massive DLC expansion thing. And it's going to have new hunting actions and a new quest rank, which kind of suggests G rank. I genuinely can't remember the English term for G rank. Is it like master rank or something? And that's coming in summer 2022. We didn't see a lot. Was that an Altarion, I want to say, or was it something new?
You're talking to a wall here, Alex.
Yeah.
You're definitely the Monster Hunter guy out of all of us.
We would love to fact check you on that, but
Yeah, we would
we've
love
got
to.
nothing. It did look really cool, though. And the whole time it was happening, I saw the Capcom logo and was like, oh, this is Monster Hunter. But then there were still points where I was like, is this Monster Hunter?
The tone and the vibe felt pretty different. It was a lot more sort of gothic-y, I suppose.
It looks good. Ironically, it was very dark for something called Sunbreak, but, you know, I'll let that
The
slide.
sun broke.
Yeah, exactly that.
Moving on, because there's just nothing else to really say about that, we had Mario Party Superstars, where they introduced a load of stuff, well, more sort of clarified things as much as anything. They revealed the other 3 boards, being Woody Woods, Yoshi's Tropical Islands, and Horrorland. Are those particular favorites? I don't know. I didn't play an awful lot of early Mario Party.
I know Zeon was like, hey, I recognize that one. Which one was that, Zeon?
I think it was the Tropical Islands. I just enjoyed it, and it looked kind of familiar. But I've only played bits, and I've played the most of Mario Party 3, but I've played bits of the others. But they all look really cool. I was very much enjoying the just like the overall aesthetic of them. And I mean, I know Super Mario Party had like really nice, like very beautiful boards as well, but I don't know. I guess I was caught off guard by just how beautiful they all were.
Yeah, there was a Waluigi board in like Mario Party 3 or 2, I believe, and I was hoping that would come back. But the selection here, it's not bad. I suppose it's kind of too late now, but when you're compiling game boards that are from prior games in the series, I was hoping for more than 5. Like, 5 is a pretty tame number.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with Super Mario Party, we only had 4, which wasn't a lot. 5 is still an improvement, admittedly.
It's just when you're coming from something that's already existed. And like, I believe all of those games had more than 5, like Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. But, you know, still, it is a return to form. Super Mario Party was a good game. This is bringing back all the mini-games from the first 3. Well, it's bringing back all the mini-games from across the entire series. So I think it's going to be good, and I liked what I saw.
And if Nintendo was like your standard company as well, we'd all be able to expect there to be more DLC boards down the road. But Nintendo isn't your normal company, and so
Goodness only knows.
Yeah, who knows?
I did like the fact that Birdo is playable, it looks like, which I was pleased with, because I like Birdo.
Yeah,
that's cool. Hopefully there's an all-star cast.
Yeah, and everything's going to be supported online, which is really important. It's coming out on the 29th of October, which I'm fairly certain we already knew. But yeah, it looks like a good sort of upgrade. It almost does just feel like Super Mario Party 2, which, that's not a bad thing.
Nope, I'm ready for more.
Okay, moving on. We had this Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars.
That's a Square Enix game.
Yeah, it really took me by surprise. Everything is cards. Everything is cards.
Zeon and I were watching this, and we were just like major near vibes the entire time. Like the music, the style. But it's a card game. I'm sure there's an audience for it. It's probably not me, though.
It's one of those things, like, I wish that there was an individual, like, download that I could get of Final Fantasy VIII's Triple Triad all the time. but then something like this comes out, and I just don't feel as excited about it. And maybe it's because I haven't actually played it. I haven't gotten my hands on it, and I don't want to spend $30 or $50 on a card game or whatever. But the cool thing is that, I know you guys already know this, but there's a demo that people can download today.
Yeah.
So that kind of, like, if anyone's interested, they can get their feet wet with it. And John was right about the Nier thing, too, is that I think this is directed by, or at least produced or something by, is it Yoko Taro? Is that right, John? The creator of the Nier series? And
absolutely.
So I don't know how, like, the story's going to be, but it's got to get weird.
Moving on, they announced Disco Elysium, which the final cut, which I've heard of. It's coming out on the 12th of October, physical coming out in 2022. I have no opinions. I don't really. I mean, it looks fine. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it.
On the count of three, let's all say with 2 words what we've heard about this game. Okay, ready?
Okay,
1,
but
2,
John, you're going to have to sort this out in post because obviously we're not going to be in time.
If it doesn't work, just cut it. 1, 2, 3. It's
coming
good.
to Switch. Oh, that's more words.
I actually have heard really good things about this. Like, it came out last year, I think, and it won a ton of awards. People were really, really positive. And it does look beautiful. And it's coming out around the time of the Switch OLED too, so that's going to be a nice OLED game.
It may be one of those games that doesn't translate well. Like, it's difficult to get what it is across in a direct, but it just... I don't really fully understand what it is, so I'm going to have to look into it a little bit more, I think.
That's how I feel too. Like, we've seen this game before in plenty of other presentations. It's won numerous amounts of awards, but like, if you haven't played it, it's what is this game? But now we can find out.
We can on Nintendo Switch. The next game, it was Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, the new DLC called Guardian of Remembrance, and I keep forgetting this game exists.
I don't want to be a constant downer, because we will get to some more exciting stuff, but if you ask me what the first wave of DLC was, I would not be able to tell you. I don't know what came out in the other DLC.
My first gut reaction was the Master Cycle, but I think I might just be thinking of Breath of the Wild, and that was even.
No, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure Zelda got the Master Cycle.
You are right. Yeah.
Whoa.
So that was in there.
Look at me with Memory Man.
The problem with this DLC too is that the new DLC that was announced is I'm blanking on their names, which I feel bad. I should remember that. But all these characters have already been in Breath of the Wild, and we've seen them in Age of Calamity.
And Pura.
You're right.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Yeah. And with like the original Hyrule Warriors,
right?
Yeah, all those characters were surprises for the most part in the original Hyrule Warriors.
And these characters were in the main game, like they were NPCs within the battlefield. So they're the most obvious characters to make playable because we've seen their models already. There's no surprise there.
Yeah.
Oh well.
The only other thing I've got in my notes apart from the release date of the 29th of October is Ganon with scissors. There was like an arm. It looked like it could have been Calamity Ganon. And it looked like it had a pair of, like, Guardian scissors, which I don't think we've seen before, so there's that.
What is that?
That is cool.
I missed that. So what does Guardian scissors mean to you?
What a question.
That's a question too deep for this short segment.
Let us know in the comments.
Perfect answer.
Moving on, we have Chocobo GP, which is Mario Kart, isn't it?
So cool for this to come back, though. I mean, there was a Chocobo Racing game that was meant to come to 3DS. Like, they announced it when the 3DS was announced, and it just never came out. They just cancelled it. So this is the resurgence of Chocobo Racing. I really enjoyed the PlayStation game. It's been a long time since we've had a proper one of these. And I don't know if this is going to set the world on fire, but I'm happy it exists.
Yeah, it looks really... I don't want to steal John's words here, but I feel like it just by definition is a cozy game, and because it doesn't look like nearly as fast as like Mario Kart 8 or something like that, but there's just a lot of just like fun, chill elements to it that like everybody likes a kart racer, right? Like, I've almost bought Garfield Kart just because it has Garfield in it, and how bad can it be, right? It's a kart racer.
Well,
And
hopefully it's not as bad as Garfield Kart.
And this has Gilgamesh in, so it's already pretty good.
Yeah, and if there's secret characters, just Square Enix, don't tell us who they are. Just make them secrets so that way we can play and be surprised and have fun, because that's half
Cloud
the,
is
yeah.
probably playable.
Oh,
probably.
So is Marth, my favorite Squeenix character.
Thank you, Alex.
It's coming out in 2022, and it said 64 players can play online, not together in like a tournament bracket thing, which was a bit... Oh, okay.
What a cheap way of trying to bolster your game.
Is this Chocobo GP
it's kind of like
Battle
a Battle
Royale?
Royale. But slow and not. But moving on, they very briefly... They didn't reveal the final Smash character, the final fighter reveal. They didn't. They revealed the reveal, and it's going to be happening on the 5th of October, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Daddy Sakurai is going to take us through all of it. We don't know who it is. It's going to be revealed there, the fighter, and he's going to take us through, his usual Sakurai chats or whatever the name of the thing is. Final predictions.
I'm just glad that we can. I'm just glad we can plan around it. He did. I'm just glad we can plan around it, and I hope at the end of the day, whoever Sakurai picks, I hope he's proud of the pick, because he's put so much of himself into Smash, and for us, as fans, and I feel like there's no right or wrong answer to whoever we get. I just hope that Sakurai loves it, and that we can all accept it in the end, because you guys have said it before. No matter who it is, it'll never make everyone happy, but hopefully there's just happiness around this and not a bunch of negativity.
That's an amazing prediction, and it's not going to come true.
No, you're right.
Everyone's going to get their pitchforks. But no, this is a big thing, though. We've had Smash speculation since Smash Wii U. It's never ended. We had Smash Wii U, we had the DLC, and there was a year lull, and then Smash Ultimate was announced. And then Smash Ultimate came out, Smash Ultimate DLC. It's just been a constant ride for almost a decade. I don't think there's any way you can really close it with everyone being satisfied, but I'm happy. Smash Ultimate's been an amazing thing, and I'm happy for it to end, and for us to move on, and for Sakurai to move on.
I've got Banjo. I'm happy with anything, although I will be annoyed if... I mean, it's not going to be, but people are always saying, oh, it's going to be a Fortnite character. Is there even such a thing as a Fortnite character? Aren't they just, basic faces or other characters?
It's got to be a Yumi, and if it's not, then what's the point?
I hope it's 4WD from Stunt Race FX.
Oh, that's the
I'll take that.
That's on the cover, right? The blue-eyed thing, is that it? Or the blue-bodied car?
He's all blue, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, a much bigger thing. This was unfortunately leaked by Nintendo themselves, the silly sausages, just before the Direct, but Kirby and the Forgotten Land. A 3D free roaming Kirby game with copy abilities, the whole kazoo, and it's coming spring 2022. That almost rhymed.
I think people freaked out way too much about this leaking because we didn't know it was a 3D Kirby game. We knew a Kirby game existed, we didn't know what capacity it would take, and I was still blown away seeing this thing. Because I've wanted this for so long. Kirby to enter the third dimension. We've been rocking the Kirby Return to Dreamland style since the Wii. We've had Return to Dreamland, Triple Deluxe, Robobot, Star Allies. I'm tired of that. I've wanted Kirby to be experimental and ambitious, and this is that.
At first, when it came up on screen too for me, I really thought it was a brand new IP. And John said something about it being a Kirby game, and in the moment I didn't want it to be that. But then once I actually saw it in motion and everything, it looked beautiful. And I think the world just it looked so different than any other Kirby game that we'd seen before. I guess besides the coloring and the John was freaking out about the sky, and I was just over here dude, it's Nintendo. It could be anything. Was what I was thinking in my head. And then there it was. It really is a new Kirby game, and it looks so cool. That's
the best part, Xeon. I mean, how many Kirby games can you look at and say, maybe that's not a Kirby game, because Kirby has such a Kirby style, and this game doesn't have that, and that's the best part.
Yeah, that's
Super
a good point.
Kirby Odyssey.
It kind of is.
That's kind of the vibes it's giving.
It is. You're totally right.
You're taking Kirby out of his comfort zone, putting him in a new environment, giving him a brand new style, and they didn't even really focus on the copy abilities. Like, there was a few in there, but most of the trailer was just Kirby running around. And that's never what they focus on with Kirby.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do with this. I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit wary with how barren some of the areas looked. But I don't know whether that's because this is either an early area, and I purely mean in terms of population of enemies and stuff like that. But again, it could also be just, it's pre-release footage. It's never completely representative. Do you remember, like, Luigi's Mansion 3 when they first revealed it? It looked quite flat and basic, and then the full thing came out, and it was like, whoa! So that's what I'm assuming this is. But yeah, I'm really, really keen to see how they managed to go ahead with this, because I don't think Kirby's going to be able to fly forever. I think it'll break it.
There's so many questions about the style. Like, it looks like a sort of a mix of sandbox and linear. Like, some sections look like they could be the end of the level. We saw a boss fight, but other points you can fully explore. So I'm still not sure what the formula of this game is.
Do you know what it reminds me of? And I'm not sure if it's just because it's like a ruined city. It reminds me a bit of Sonic Adventure.
Totally.
I was getting Nier Automata vibes with the buildings with like moss growing on them, but I can totally see Sonic Adventure in there.
There was a moment for me. I haven't really like dived into like a full-on Kirby game since. Like, I played some of Canvas Curse and Epic Yarn, and I've dabbled a little bit here and there. But the last Kirby game I ever beat was Crystal Shards on N64, and I think there was some feeling of like isolation in that game for me. Is that? And it's been so long since I've played it, but just seeing this new trailer kind of gave me some of that feeling, I guess, just like that feel-good feeling, but also just like, I don't know, just like you are just this little pink puffball on this planet by yourself, roaming around and just exploring, and there's no humans around anymore. And I don't know, I'm very excited about it, though. I don't know if anything I just said made sense, but I'm
No, totally.
I think I know what you mean. I think it sort of gives off a sort of a GameCube era sort of vibe of like a 3D mascot platformer. And, so you look at it and you go, oh my God, what's this? Ooh, what's that? And I don't feel that about games these days as much anymore. And it was really pleasing to feel that again. It was pleasing to feel something.
Yeah. When I look at most Kirby games, I say like, oh hey, Star Allies, it is Kirby on the Nintendo Switch. That's what I expected from that game. I expected a standard Kirby game. I can't say I was excited. Buff DDD? Maybe that got me a bit excited, but every other aspect of that game, it was just, this is Kirby on the Switch. This is more than that, though. This is something that far exceeds my expectations. I've wanted Kirby to be this probably since the GameCube.
I think I've wanted Kirby to be this since Kirby 64, because I remember hearing about that and going, oh my God, Kirby 64, Kirby in 3D, and then seeing gameplay footage in like on a CRT suspended on a wall in like a secondhand game shop somewhere, and just being like, that's a 2D game. You bamboozled me.
That was still a nice picture that you just painted, though.
Yeah.
I'm pleased. I'm just like the artist copy ability. Okay, moving on to another big deal. Animal Crossing New Horizons is getting more gubbins, and most importantly, they have confirmed through little doodly diddly ditties and just basically showing it that the Roost is returning, which also means the return of Brewster. And that's all they said. They just said new stuff, and they said, hey, there's going to be an Animal Crossing Direct in October. So, how's about that?
How vague. Like, October is a week away. Give us a date.
That is really weird. I mean, it can't be. At least we know next week, right? Or is it the week after? I don't want to pull up my calendar right now and mess up my recording. But hopefully it's after the Smash Direct, I guess, or the Smash presentation. But you're right.
The Smash Direct is in like best part of just over 10 days, so not quite 2 weeks, but more than a week.
But yeah, I hope it does feel like I fell off. I think you guys fall into the same boat as me, but please, correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like a lot of players have kind of fallen into this boat where it feels like we've done a lot of what Animal Crossing has to offer, and I really hope this presentation just like pulls us back in. Maybe not like a couple hours a day, maybe just a half an hour or an hour a day, just to entice us a little bit. But because I don't want to lose myself to the game anymore. I don't have time to do that, but I really want a reason to play again. And I love Brewster, and I know a lot of other people do too, but please give us more. Give us more.
It's going to be big, right? Because, they've been doing lots of update trailers where they're like, oh, you can catch the sharks now if you go fishing. And it's so boring. But it's a direct. And they've already teased Brewster. That's something people have wanted since the game came out. So if they're already confirming that now, then what more do they have? There's got to be something big in there.
I am thirsty for my pigeon milk.
It'll be nice when we get to the point where we have everything in Animal Crossing that we want, and then just new things just come out and surprise us. Because I feel like New Leaf was at a point where not that...
Well, Welcome Amiibo came out of bloody nowhere, didn't it?
Right. Absolutely, yeah. And that was, we got the ability to invite villagers, and I think that was something lots of people wanted.
Now.
Right, like...
Welcome Amiibo gave us Animal Crossing Puzzle League.
You're right.
Is there a chance? Is there a chance of the resurgence?
John, has there been a single direct impressions video that we've done where you haven't mentioned Puzzle
It's
League?
relevant this time. There's an actual chance.
I think this sounds like a new John solo video idea, like it just is being produced right now in his brain. Like, if you have time, I feel like John's just going to make is Animal Crossing Puzzle League coming back?
It's just John sat in a room saying Puzzle League over and over.
Why else would there be a direct? Like, what would you ask? What would you confirm? Oh, Brewster's coming. You can get some. No, Puzzle League.
I think if we could play Puzzle League together with villagers as well, like have someone visit and then play it, I think I would almost be more stoked about that than Brewster. And I love Brewster, even though he can be a little cold sometimes.
He just hasn't had his coffee. That's why he's chilly.
He's just giving it all to us. He's just sacrificing himself.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
You're totally right. That Mario Golf, though.
What a transition.
Yes. Steady on, guys. Koopa Trooper and Ninja and 2 new courses are coming to Mario Golf Super Rush today. It's fine.
I thought Koopa Trooper was already in the game, and I'm surprised he isn't.
I know what you mean. It's just... I might be thinking of, like, Mario Tennis Aces, maybe?
Probably. Ninja's cool, though. That's a nice cut.
Yeah.
I'm not leaping in the air, but yeah, sweet.
I was sat next to Sasha, and when it was revealed, she was like, who's that?
That's a good question.
It's Ninja! Don't you know him?
I said Ninja. Oh, he was in the second Mario game. She went, oh, the second Mario Golf game. Is like, no, the second Mario game is an enemy. Good. Then we had kind of like a slew of things, starting off with hold on to your butts, as the Americans would say. Disney Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition. I have no idea what's going on in this trailer, and I don't care.
I played this on 3DS.
Of course you have, John.
It's like Animal Crossing, apart from you hang out with Mickey Mouse and crew. It's alright. I never expected to see it again, though.
Why? Did you play both of them by chance, or just the second one?
Yeah, I'm an idiot, Xeon. I did.
Dude, it's alright.
They're cozy. I think if you're the market for it, I'm sure you'd enjoy it. I just never expected to see this game again, though.
But what about...
It's no Peppa Pig, that's for certain.
No, for sure.
What about the people that want to play the first one? Like, why are they making the second one? Why didn't they just remove the number and just say, like, Disney Magical World Enchanted Remix, or I don't know. Like, is 2... Was it really that much better? Is better a word I can use for that?
Maybe it was easier to port.
Okay.
That might have been it, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it sure does look like a 3DS game.
It certainly does. And then we got something pretty good, actually. Knights of the Old Republic is coming out. The timing feels a bit weird, because haven't they just announced a remake on
They have.
more, on like Series X and PS5? Is it Series X as well, or?
I think, yeah, it might be. It was in the PS5 presentation, but it might be.
Okay. Yeah, it's coming out on the 11th of November. I've dabbled in Knights of the Old Republic, which is which is a fun way to say that. I've dabbled in it. I've never played it properly.
I played this when I was a kid, and I remember going to get breakfast with my grandpa and my friend Christian. Hi, Christian, if you're watching. And then about a half an hour after we ate, I was playing the game. I threw up, and then I never played the game again. So that's my memories with Knights of the Old Republic.
God, you're going to download it, and the nausea's going to rise as the progress bar increases.
Was it Xbox and PC exclusive, the first one?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. You can get it on... I think I've got it on Steam, which probably explains why I haven't played it much, because I don't really use Steam.
So it's neat. It's neat to come to Nintendo for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
They're bringing over a lot of classic Star Wars games, and I'm a fan.
This was kind of like the game that made Xbox cool for a lot of people back in the day. So yeah, that's a really good point. The fact that it's even coming to Switch in general.
Next up, we had Dying Light 2 Stay Human Cloud Edition, which is coming on the 4th of February. And then we have Dying Light Platinum Edition coming on the 19th of October. Then we have Triangle Strategy. Yes, they've finally given Project Triangle Strategy its full name.
Why did they do this?
Triangle Strategy.
Why? How long do they wait to do this? Because Octopath Traveler was Project, I think for like 2 years. It had 2 demos where it was still called Project. Did they just deliberate the name for years? And then eventually you know what? Because people made like so much fun of this name. No one said Triangle Strategy is a good name. So were they waiting for feedback? And if so, were they waiting for negative feedback to just reinforce their decision?
I don't even know. I mean, I don't want to hang around too much on the name, but it is just the most ridiculous name.
I guess it's memorable.
God.
At least that's the point. I don't know, but the game does look really cool.
It sounds like some crappy quiz that you'd get in the back of a maths textbook. Trying to be cool. It's like, prepare for the triangle strategy.
All right, kids, turn your books to page 762 and make sure you have your graphing calculators handy.
I will say, though, it's coming out in March, right? Like March 20-something?
4th of March, actually.
Oh, well, that's pretty soon. And we've got a nice steady stream of games coming out. And this seems like a nice, cozy March game.
It does. I mean, the game itself looks perfectly good. I've not got an issue with the game itself. It's just the name. I can't get over it.
I do love that they get feedback from the demos. With Bravely, with Octopath, they take our notes and they improve the game. It's a cool concept.
Then they moved on and they did what I predicted. They talked about Metroid Dread. And I'm not going to lie, I semi-glazed over for this because...
I'm so glad to hear that.
Want to learn anymore?
Yeah, we closed our eyes, we muted the audio. This game is so close, we're 2 weeks away. I don't want to know anything, I don't want to see anything until I'm playing it.
All I will say is that they had the strange narrator with this strange sort of British accent, and there's nothing wrong with it. It just seems like a strange fit for Metroid. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not going to complain that Metroid's being marketed, because, I mean, put all your marketing money into this that you want. I just feel like we've been waiting for this game for so long that I want to go in blind. I don't want to know anything more.
Yeah,
Tickle the brake a little bit. Tickle the brake.
Yeah, you're right. It's tough, because we can't fault them for wanting to show off the cool elements of this game, and Nintendo, they are trying their best to make it successful. But you're right. It is really hard as people who have just seen enough and are going to buy it and we're sold already. It's really hard for us to keep watching those things. Yeah, because we were legitimately peeking through our through the cracks in our eyes. I was like, John, is it over yet?
So moving away from Metroid Dread, we went to something we all predicted, and everyone was saying it's going to be Game Boy games. Nope, the next Nintendo Switch Online is N64 games. And not only N64 games, but also Mega Drive or Genesis games.
Dude,
but these are only available as part of an expansion pack, as they're calling it. They haven't announced rates for this or anything like that, but they've said you can transfer over, which is good, because obviously renewals happen pretty soon if you got it right at the start. And the games that are available, I've got a list here somewhere. There we go. The launch lineup for the N64 games: Super Mario 64, which is surprising, Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, Lilac Wars or Star Fox 64, Sin and Punishment, Dr. Mario 64, Mario Tennis 64, Operation Win Back, and Yoshi's Story. That's a lot of games.
It's crazy good, yeah. I know that you have to pay more for this, but I feel like Switch Online is already so dirt cheap. Like, Xeon, you have the family pack. How much do you pay every year?
It's $35 US a month, for 35 US a year for it, and that's still like I just split. Or I have my girlfriend's on it, and I have a couple friends and stuff, and it really doesn't. That's nothing in comparison to other subscriptions out there. And if Nintendo really they're really boosting it up with this, so I hope it doesn't go up a ton. But yeah, at the end of the day, with the offerings, at least N64 games are more. I feel like people are going to get a lot more time out of some of those games. Like you can sit. A lot of people will realistically play Majora's Mask and when that comes out. Which, sorry if I just spoiled that a little bit, but
there's pacing. You've ruined the pacing.
Not only that though, but online, like that always
right.
gets taken out of context with NES and SNES Online because you don't play them online. Like very few people do.
No.
Maybe you dabbled in Mario Kart for a bit. I doubt people are still playing that much. I played Pound Upon a little bit, barely much though. Whereas I am going to play Star Fox 64 online. I am going to play Mario Kart 64 online. I am definitely going to play
Ocarina of Time
Mario Golf online. I mean, yeah, we can watch each other play it if we really want to. But there's so much more value with N64 multiplayer over Super Nintendo and NES. That's really exciting.
Right.
And F-Zero X. We're finally going to have an F-Zero game that's online.
Stop talking about the upcoming ones.
Oh no, sorry, no one's allowed to know.
No, that's from the future of the video. Oh no. But you're absolutely right though. Like, spoiler alert, Pokemon Stadium is not on the list yet. But there is some hope here with something that Alex, I imagine, is going to talk about shortly.
Should we just rip off the bandage?
No. This is my moment. So, they've also announced upcoming Nintendo 64 games with more to come as well. Yes,
ding,
including
ding, 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 ding.
F-Zero X, Paper Mario, Mario Golf, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and Pokemon Snap. And Banjo-Kazooie. I can't believe
I flipped a brick.
I said I wanted that yesterday, but I was like, mate, it's not going to happen. And it has. Well, it will.
What does this mean for Perfect Dark and other rare games? Like, are they going to come in the future?
Right.
To be honest, this may well have been part of the deal that Nintendo had with having Banjo and Smash. It's like, we'll have Banjo and Smash. Can we have... rights to use Banjo-Kazooie and everything. And what really excites me is that Banjo-Kazooie, yes, I don't like to use the term, you can emulate it. There are emulators out there. None of them run it completely properly. There are still little graphical things here and there. And so if this is emulated properly, holy lordy, finally a way to play Banjo-Kazooie on a modern system. More importantly, play Banjo-Kazooie portably.
Right, like you can play it on like Rare Replay and through like Game Pass and stuff, but there is charm.
No, it's the Xbox Live Arcade version. It's not as good.
Oh, it is. Well, and that was actually, I have the original Xbox version to thank for my first playthrough with Banjo. I got it as it was a free bonus for pre-ordering or picking up Nuts and Bolts, and so I owe a lot to that re-release for my love for Banjo. And but there is
freebie's better than the game you bought.
Yes, which I played a lot of online multiplayer with one of my buddies back in the day of Nuts and Bolts and loved it. But I think you're absolutely right. Like there's a certain amount of charm and like even just the textures that they're not all sharp and refined. I really love the N64 version. It's actually I don't think I beat it back in the day. I think I made it to, is the last level Click Clock Woods or is it TikTok or? in Banjo?
Yeah. Oh God, you've made me question. Click Clock Woods,
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, I made it there on Xbox, and then I stopped because I think I felt overwhelmed. But on N64,
I think a lot of people do.
I did, yeah. But yeah, save
it's not
states
as complicated as it looks, but yeah. Click Clock Woods.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love Banjo-Kazooie so much.
I'm so happy for you.
Oh,
This is already a killer lineup. I do wonder what else they're going to add in the future. Because there's no Mario parties on here. That's probably because of Superstars. Yeah, what more do you want? I mean, there's most of the big Nintendo games are here. Like, N64's pretty limited for Nintendo first party. There's definitely more, but there's like everything you pretty much want is kind of on this list.
yeah. I mean, I was really surprised that Mario 64's on this because the 3D All Stars. Maybe this is why they pulled it, and it was only a limited
Probably.
thing, and it's just kind of like, hey, it's a fancy, 3-game pack, but the games will be quote unquote free later on.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and the other cool thing too that not to hang around on this topic too much too is right now we don't really know what the pacing of the upcoming games will be, like how often we'll get them. Maybe it'll be one a month or something like that, kind of like I feel like the Virtual Console used to do that back in the day where we'd get like one N64 game a month, but maybe it was a week. I don't recall exactly, but the cool thing is that when we get weird games on the NES and the Super Nintendo, a lot of people complain about them just because they are weird or they've never played them before because we're not getting the cool stuff. But if we start getting if we get Pokemon Snap one month and then we get like stuff like a Mortal Kombat game, or like we get Hydro Thunder in there, now those games will actually be fun to play online with people. Like I would totally boot up Hydro Thunder and do 4-player with a bunch of friends. Like that would be so cool. And it just
Oh hell
like the N64, it's hard to go back to, but with online, like that adds so much just value to the games themselves. That
Not to skip over Mega Drive 2, because that lineup's killer. They've got a bunch of stuff from the Mega Drive Mini. So we got like Contra Hardcore and Castlevania Bloodlines.
I've got the whole
And again,
list
online.
if you want me to read it out.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, we've got Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which is the best thing to say out loud, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Fantasy Star 4, Rise Star, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master, and Strider, or Aragorn as he's known later on.
Hey, imagine that stuff online too. Like, imagine Streets of Rage online. Imagine Sonic 2 online, where like you're playing the one-player mode, but the person online is playing as Tails. That's
that'd
gonna
be really
rock.
cool, yeah.
Whoa,
and Dr.
sure.
Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Of course.
Yeah, like Gunstar Heroes Online too. That would be incredible. There's just the Genesis Mega Drive lineup really looks like they went and polled the internet of like, hey, what games do you want on the Genesis Mega Drive Nintendo Switch Online if we were to do one? Because like Musha, like I think last time I checked, that's a crazy expensive game, and so few people actually know what that game is. But now so many people can actually go out and play it.
I wasn't even sure how to pronounce it.
I'm not sure if I'm correct either, so no worries. We did the best we could, but it just feels like they really like paid attention to what we would want, and they gave us that. It feels like they put some time and effort into the list, and that's really like I respect that and appreciate it so much.
Yeah, the Mega Drive lineup is so good, and most re-releases and collections are always the same, like 30 games every time. And it feels like they are, like with some of these, they are deviating from the regular choices. And I really want them to dive deep in the future and just give us stuff they don't usually re-release. And I think the Mega Drive Mini had Disney stuff too. Like they had Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion. So I wonder if that's going to come to the service.
I'll be happy as soon as they announce Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like, as it one complete ROM, please. Because for some reason that never happens in re-releases. Someone's going to go down to the comments and say, well, actually, it's happened 7.5 times or something.
Well, we're getting the Sonic Origins
right, finally,
thing, aren't we? So that's kind of happening.
Yeah. So not to hang around too long, but we also, just to go over, it looks like it's running at a higher resolution than the original N64, which is good.
Cool.
The joys of emulation, just something I noticed. And also, we're getting an N64 controller, and it's just an N64 controller.
It's all we need.
Yep, and I'm chuffed. I'm chuffed because some N64 games, because of the C buttons, they translate to a modern controller, but it's not easy.
I hope.
No.
I hope the N64 controllers have some like quality of life improvements. Like I have some parts sitting aside to like modify my N64 controllers to make them kind of better, but I guess there's little parts in there that wear out over time, and that's what makes your joystick like shake around like crazy. And if they add in some better parts, hopefully those controllers will last years and years now, unlike the original Nintendo 64 controllers. And I hope maybe the joystick will be made of rubber as well. That would be really nice, or like have a rubber top on it. I'm going too on about the controller right now, but I have lots of hopes for it for $50.
Yeah.
Again, $50. I know that's nothing new because the NES and Super Nintendo ones are also similar prices. But $50 for the 3-button Mega Drive controller?
Oh, yeah.
It should have at least been the 6-button one.
Is that how much they're charging? I must have missed that somehow.
Yeah, they said $50 each.
Is that just one, or is that two at least?
That's one.
It looked like
wow,
one.
that's super cheeky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did the 3-button controller for the Mega Drive Mini too, and it's disappointing because Mega Drive has quite a lot of good fighters. There aren't really any on this list, but they would have benefited from the 6-button.
Yeah, and I think it was like Retrobit or somebody came out and they made officially licensed Sega, they were licensed by Sega and they were 6-button controllers, but you had to buy them separate, and I feel like that's not going to happen with Nintendo because otherwise they would have just done that from the start. Why release 2 Genesis controllers for Switch? But yeah, it's weird to just see a 3. Whatever, I guess,
Yeah.
But
if you want 4 N64 controllers, though, that's $200.
You're right.
You can just use your Joy-Con though. It's an option at the end of the day. So
True.
I still think it's a bit cheeky, but it's just an option. You don't need them. So moving on from that massive announcement, we had Run Trilogy.
Did you say Shadow the Hedgehog?
I said Shadowrun.
Oh yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog is coming to Switch finally. Yes, fine.
Yeah,
Sick.
the whole trilogy.
Wow, I love favorite series.
all 3 variants, even though I think there were 5 endings or so. Well, 6 I think technically, maybe more. I lose track. It's coming out in 2022. Those are the only notes I made. I don't know anything about this.
Shadowrun does have a deep legacy, and I know people are going to call us out. I'm not particularly excited, but I'm happy that if you are, then I'm happy for you.
We can't have an encyclopedic knowledge over everything, unfortunately. Too much effort has gone into remembering how to pronounce Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Yeah.
I played the dumb 360 reboot, which was a shooter. It was alright.
Next up, something, again, that was kind of semi-leaked was a Castlevania Advance Collection, which is 4 classic games, the Advance games, but more importantly, all the regional versions of it, which is really quite exciting, I think.
Yeah, this is rad. I mean, if this weren't leaked, I mean, it was leaked months ago, and it was leaked again today with all the games, but if this weren't leaked, this would be a huge announcement. And it still is cool. Like, knowing it beforehand doesn't take away from that. This is a great collection.
And it launches today.
Oh, for real? I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that. Yeah, that's cool. All right.
Awesome.
Next up, we had Deltarune Chapter 2. Well, sort of. It is Deltarune Chapter 2. It's an update to Deltarune Chapter 1, and it's called Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2. And yep.
Normally I'd be so hyped about this right now too, but I have so much on my plate that I'm just like I'm still almost done with Mother 3, and I'm just like I can't start this right now, but I really want to. I am happy that it's here though, so please everyone I already muted Deltarune on Twitter, so I think I'm going to be fine for a while.
Moving on, we had a sizzle reel with a lot of games, so I'm just going to read the games out, and then I want you guys to take it in turns, Xeon then John, to say one word about the game. Okay? So Xeon, you're going to be first. Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Woo!
Surviving the Aftermath.
What?
Shin Megami Tensei 5. That's an easy one.
It's all blue.
That's 3 words.
I know, I had to say it
Wreckfest.
though. I'm sorry.
What?
I thought you said breakfast.
Arcade Archives, Pac-Man.
Waka.
Are you telling me this wasn't on Switch?
Archives, Xevious.
I'm just going to continue around here. These I could have sworn these were on Switch. I played Arcade Archives Pac-Man on PS4 like back in 2014 or something. Were these really not on Switch?
Nope. Well, they will be.
Yeah. Well, they are the Koopa Trooper and Mario Golf of this presentation. I could have sworn they were already on Switch.
And lastly, Rune Factory 5.
The only word I can say is Kate. That's it. It just makes sense.
Our notes just denote that Kate has been handling the article for that.
But it also really works. It really works.
I love the fact it's all in capitals as well. It's just Rune Factory 5. Kate!
Yep.
Classic. The next thing that they not so much announced, Shigeru Miyamoto popped his head around the corner and they started talking about the Mario film. They didn't have anything to show, but they did reveal that it's coming out in North America on the 21st of December 2022.
I really want to know how you feel. I really want to know how you feel. I really want to know just how you feel about all of this.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like you should just go ahead. Please. That's what I want to hear.
They revealed a number of the actors. They revealed that Mario is going to be played by Chris Pratt. Peach is going to be played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Luigi is going to be played by Charlie Day. Bowser is going to be played by Jack Black. Toad is going to be played by Keegan-Michael Key. I nearly just said Toad again. DK is going to be played by Seth Rogen. Charles Martinet is going to be involved in cameos. And I didn't quite catch the actors, but Cranky Kong, Spike, and Kamek are also going to be present. And this sounds god-awful.
It sounds soulless. When I saw Chris Pratt, I've
not got anything against Chris Pratt, but he's Mario, really?
Yeah. It does. We haven't seen the context of the film. Maybe they pull it off, but just seeing this list of actors, I am not feeling passion.
Me neither. And I know a lot of people really like him. I'm not a fan of Jack Black, and just as Bowser and Seth Rogen, I loathe as Donkey Kong, and the fact that they've got Charles Martinet in there and he's not even playing bloody Mario, it just feels like such a slap in the face. It's just kind of like, oh, no, it's okay. We'll give you some charity. We'll have you on board, Mr. Martinet. You've only provided the voice of the character for the past 30 years or something. I honestly think it's quite insulting.
It feels like a parody. I can't see a situation where we have all these actors playing these characters and it feeling grounded. I don't think this is going to feel like Mario at all.
It does feel like we'll look back on this and laugh, I hope, but I think I feel every emotion under the sun about this film right now. I'm scared, I'm optimistic, I'm nervous, and I'm also excited for some of the characters that are playing some of them. But like you said, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, what does that mean? We haven't seen any, it feels like somebody just went, do you think we can get Chris Pratt as Mario? And they went, let me make some calls. And then it happened. And then now that's the reality. Like we just, maybe if we were shown a trailer, just the tiniest bit to tell us that here is why we picked Chris Pratt, right? Beyond just him being a name. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, guys.
It was a really weird way to relay that information. Like, that's the first thing we know about this movie is the actors, and we don't know. We don't know the context of how they're going to be used. We don't know the direction of this movie. I hope we look back on this and we say, how silly we were. It was a masterpiece, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I'm so skeptical of this. Like, I was skeptical before, and then they just released I don't want to sound rude to the actors because, they're well-established actors for a reason, but it's just the most generic Hollywood cast I can possibly think of. Charlie Day as Luigi, I just don't understand. He's hyperactive, screechy, and it works in his characters. Like, I've seen bits of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I feel like it went off the rails a bit, but I just don't see it. I just feel like they just picked the list of people that they wanted in this film and then assigned them roles afterwards, just through some sort of lucky dip.
Cranky Kong's in this, though.
He is in
And
this.
I didn't expect that.
But moving swiftly on, before I get too annoyed, we have Splatoon 3 that they showed off. A load of new stuff here. I don't even really know where to begin. Maybe with a single player. It's being called Return of the Mammalians, and the Octarians have made themselves furry, and presumably they will produce milk if they're mammalian.
I don't like the idea of that.
That's really weird.
There were a lot of quick cuts here. There's a lot to go back and see, because it happened so fast, like rapid fire. It looks good, though. I was a bit... I guess I was a bit timid about whether they were going to justify having having a sequel to Splatoon on the same console. Because the big appeal of Splatoon 2 was it's Splatoon on the Switch. And how do you do that again when there's already Splatoon on the Switch? And I don't know if they necessarily answered that, but there is a lot of cool stuff happening in here, though.
It feels like a natural evolution. It definitely doesn't feel like a sequel in the same way as, for example, Super Mario World was a sequel to Super Mario Bros. 3. It feels more like how Super Mario Galaxy 2 was a sequel to Super Mario Galaxy. It's more ideas than they could realistically... I mean, you could argue they could go and update Splatoon 2, but it may well be that they want to change things up, more mechanically. And it looks like they're doing that. We've seen a load of new special powers, like stretching, like stretchy arm thing. It looks really cool. It looks like they're really being experimental in a way that a lot of shooters just aren't.
Yeah, and one of the missing Splatoon 1 stages is back, so that's cool.
Oh, really?
Ooh, which one?
The one with the rotating pillars. I forget the name, but they focused on it quite a lot in the trailer. I think there was more than the new map that they showed it for.
I was too busy taking notes, apparently.
Your notes are great. I spent the majority of time I've spent with Splatoon is in the single player realm, which sounds bonkers because that's not very long. But I did beat Splatoon 2's campaign and I enjoyed it. And John and I, I know we kind of talked about this a little bit when we watched it together, but a lot of those levels they were kind of just like floating platforms, kind of, I don't want to say toy box-esque, but they just didn't really have a lot of character to them. It felt like you could have just, taken the themes and slapped the levels back into any of the other levels and changed up the theme a little bit, and it would have been, they all could have fit around. But it does really look like that some of these levels have their own characteristics to them, and they have more detail packed into them, and I really hope that that's the case, because I want to fall like headfirst into Splatoon's world and story, and I feel like I just didn't really get a lot of that out of the second game's campaign. And maybe I need to find lore in other places like the manga and in the backstory details and the online communities. But I just really want a cool, beefy story that I can get lost in and feel immersed in, But
I fully get that. A lot of them were just kind of video game levels. They felt disconnected. This feels a bit more grounded. And I love some of the visuals. Like, there's like an Into the Spider-Verse kind of scene where the city's sort of, it's been inverted in the sky. It's a really cool shot.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely looks like there's a lot more visual diversity in the single player here.
I think I just think it looks great.
It does.
Because
it does.
Yeah, I'm a real sucker for Splatoon. I suppose in a way it's kind of one of the first new Nintendo IPs that I covered professionally. And so as a result, I think I have a real soft spot for it. And just seeing anything new Splatoon like this, it just gets me feeling all wibbly inside.
It is really nice that a new IP, we don't get it very often, but it's cool to see that Nintendo has created a new IP back in the day, when it first came out, and that we're at a point now where we're getting a third one already, and there's so much hype around it, and it looks like the devs are getting the creative freedom and the, not the resources to put in what they want into the game, and hopefully it excels. It looks really cool so far. I agree.
And then finally, they ended it off with Astral Chain 2. No, it wasn't Astral Chain 2, but they were really keeping us guessing throughout the entire thing. Bayonetta 3, and even to the point, I don't know whether they were just toying and it's got nothing to do with Astral Chain, but they were really pushing that it was Astral Chain. I'm guessing you guys got that as well, even before Dog Mascot appeared. I've forgotten its name.
Lappy.
I was
that's
fully
the one.
convinced it was Bayonetta, and then they showed the astral chain Lappy, and my brain didn't know what to do. It was I full on thought it was Bayonetta. I was tricked, and then I was tricked again. So it was a lot. It was a lot to handle.
It was great fun.
Mm-hmm.
It looks nuts, though. I mean, Bayonetta hasn't really been on thriving hardware yet. Like, Bayonetta 2 was on the Wii U, which has its CPU dating back to the GameCube in many ways. Now it's unleashed onto a far more powerful console, and you can see the scope in there. Like, there's the city seems far larger than anything Bayonetta 2 had, and the scope of the battles too. Like, the monsters were giant. The combos you were doing were over the top crazy. It looks great. I have a lot of questions though. Like in the first teaser trailer, Bayonetta dies. Like, she gets cut in half, and everything in this trailer is within the city. Like, there's no other areas in here. And then they end the trailer with that cut of the mysterious character. It might be John. I'm not entirely sure.
It's Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
My question kind of is, like, if it just is this like a bait and switch? Because Bayonetta's voice actor went on record saying she's not sure what she's doing in this game. Like, she said, don't keep your hopes up about me returning. So I kind of wonder, like, are they going to kill off Bayonetta? Is that why they're showing just this one area and then teasing another character?
That's quite a statement, John. I'm not gonna lie.
There's evidence there.
There is, but it feels like they've shown off a lot of like different mechanics with Bayonetta, like not climbing up the monsters, as it were, and monsters is a broad term, but sort of being able to damage very specific areas, and not in a scripted way or anything like that, but just as part of the combat, certain moves will sort of hit you up and things like that. It's sort of like Sonic's homing attack or something like that. I mean, I suppose they could just apply that to the new character as well, but would it be Bayonetta? I mean, would it?
I think people might have asked that. I mean, it's tough to say because, like, if you look back at Metal Gear Solid 2, I think a lot of people would have. I think we would say, "What is Metal Gear Solid without Snake?" But look at the second game, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone who still hasn't played it in this modern age. But there probably are people out there that haven't, so I'll refrain from that. But the one thing I will say is that I think the thing to think about here too is that this game has been in development for a long time from what we're aware. At least it was announced a long time ago. So there has to be something catastrophic, something big here that has caused this game to maybe not be delayed, but just to have been in development for that long. So maybe there is a new character. Maybe something does happen to Bayonetta and then she dies and maybe she comes back. Or maybe there are just two characters that you can play as. Or maybe there's a big open world like in Nier Automata. I don't know, but
that would be interesting. Because Platinum did handle Nier Automata.
Oh, you're right.
And yeah, I was just saying, this game was announced 4 years ago now. It's been in development for a long time. So what caused that? It could be that maybe this is like a big hub world, kind of like Nier.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why they're just showing the city. Maybe there is more to it than it just being a linear adventure like the other two games.
Yeah, because I've only played Bayonetta 1.
Maybe it's because they've been working on Star Fox Zero 2.
Oh, no.
Maybe.
I've only played Bayonetta 1, so it's hard for me to compare how Bayonetta 3 looks to other Bayonetta games. But I do remember the level variety in 1 felt... There were a lot of unique areas, I thought. It's been quite a few years since I played it, but yeah, we can't just be... the city can't be the only thing, right? There has to be more than that. And so,
no, absolutely. But in the same way, we've only seen a city in the new Kirby game, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's not going to be the only environment.
Well, we saw some more stuff. There was like a nice place and a lava one.
Right, yeah. But it all went by so quick.
This is the first showing. Maybe there's time for more.
Mm-hmm. And was there a release date hard, or is it just like a time frame, or?
Just 2022.
2022, baby.
Good year, though. I mean, Splatoon, Bayonetta, Breath of the Wild, Kirby.
It's just full. It's like 2017.
This is 2017 too. Yeah.
Right, look at you guys.
Oh, classic. What do you think of Bayonetta's new hair?
I liked it.
I like it a lot, and I think the internet's also going to be a big fan.
It's a bold look. Like, pigtails that big, they're not easy to pull off, but she's doing quite well.
When I first saw her Bayonetta 2 design, I didn't love it, but I think I prefer that now to the first game.
I think I'm the same.
I'm already pretty positive about this. I don't know if I'm gonna like it more than 2. We'll see. We'll see what time does to this.
So, okay, that about wraps it up. Overall feelings in 5 words only. Overall, of what your feelings are with the Direct. John?
Good stuff. Largely only okay.
Okie dokie. Xeon?
I think I'm pretty pleased.
My go, I suppose. High highs.
How do you end that?
Hate Chris Melodrandi.
There you go. You're right, there were some high highs in here. There's some good stuff in there. Kirby was great to see.
Yep.
Bayonetta, finally great to see, sure. I feel they carry the presentation, though. There's some neat stuff. Chocobo Racing coming back, great. Splatoon 3, we already knew about it, and I don't feel like we got a massive new reveal for that game. But it's great that we saw it again.
Yeah, it was good to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we got some presentation announcements within the presentation for Smash and Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
maybe I'd be happier if we saw more from those rather than being separate. But for me, yeah, it's kind of just Kirby and Bayonetta holding up the whole thing.
Yeah, I think there were. I'm happy to see N64 Genesis. I think I'm so happy that they're putting the effort into what games they're actually selecting. That was really nice from, I appreciated that. But yeah, Kirby, Bayonetta 3, Splatoon 3, I feel like we got a good look at a lot of things that we've been curious about or been hoping for, and that was nice. I think the pacing was a little weird. I am glad in a way that we got some of the less exciting stuff at the beginning, because I feel like we didn't have something to be excited about and then something sad to be about, and it just felt like they got some of the middling stuff over with at the beginning, I guess. Lots of people will be excited about Monster Hunter, but for me it just wasn't a big deal to me. I'm pleased with it, I think, in the end. So
yeah, I would say I'm pleased, as it's just, well, as I said, there were some really high highs, things like I love the N64 stuff, the new Kirby game, Monster Hunter Rise. I'm excited to see more about what they've got there, but they didn't really show anything per se. But yeah, there was also just a lot of stuff there was nothing really bad, except for the Mario film stuff, but that's kind of secondary because it's not games. But there was nothing oh, why are they, they're hanging around. It didn't feel like it dragged, but it also didn't feel super explosive. So it was, yeah. Overall, if I were to score it, I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, it's hard to rate it on its own, because the lineup as it is already good. If we didn't have this Direct, we would not be starving for games. We've got Metroid coming out, we've got Monkey Ball, we've got the Pokemon games, both the remakes and Legends. We've got a bunch of stuff coming. So if this Direct didn't happen, I'd still be okay. But I feel like Bayonetta didn't show enough to blow me away. Kirby did. I think I might even just give it a 6. That might even be generous. It was alright. I wasn't blown away by much, though.
Just as a reminder, when we score things out of 10, 5 is average. Just so the people...
That's true.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, I think I'm being way too generous here, just because Kirby was good. I'll probably go mid. I'd say 5. Kirby did a lot for me. Not much else did.
Yeah, I think it's really hard for me to pick a number. I think 6 might be good for me as well, because it's tough, because this Direct came at a time where it didn't really feel like we needed another Direct necessarily, just because there are so many cool games on the horizon for us to play. But it was really nice to get kind of an idea of what's coming early next year, and I guess I've just... Maybe I've just been so busy that I haven't been able to even contemplate next year. But I think a 6, maybe a 7 as well. But it's just a number at the end of the day on a Direct ranking, I guess.
Sure.
But I'm
look
happy with it.
Being the optimist for a change.
Dude, I like that. I'm so glad.
It's Banjo. It's all Banjo, baby. But yeah, there you have it. Those are our views and opinions and all sorts of things about the most recent Nintendo Direct. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you suggest that Banjo-Kazooie is coming to the subscribe button, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I guess Golden Sun and Mother 3 will have to come along another day. Man.